If you could raise your hand for us, that'd be great.
We don't have anybody here for this one.
So here's what's going to happen. Here, note that nobody's here. If the board can choose to hold that until the end, how they want to do it. So then you've got.
We have Anthony here, but I don't know who the person is.
Good, and then refresh this, because again, remember your things off. Okay, he's for this guy. This very last one is that guy. If you can ask him, but it doesn't look like he's fully popped in, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. Is it full?
It's 4, so. Since it's 4:01, you do have a quorum.
Okay. Okay. Are you ready for me to read?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, good. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Angelia Bills, Chair, Justin Randall, Vice Chair, and Vincent Nutt, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt, Abby Freudel, Gretchen Arnold, Summer Jean, and Abiola Adesana. Also on the call is John Burford from the County Counsel's Office. First, I offered into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, May 29, 2024. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of May 15, 2024.
I move to approve them.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion carries. This meeting is conducted as a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record and present technical advice to the board if needed. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote. At that time, the discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
Okay. 49-24 Brad Stout is a request for an exception to allow the construction of a 60-foot by 40-foot detached garage/storage building with a covered carport, which will be over 1,000 square feet in size, and to maintain and expand a gravel driveway in lieu of a paved driveway at 7 Skyview Way, 6022 Horncare Road, as required by the Section 4 of the Non-Urban District Regulations and Section 1003.165 off-street parking and loading regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. I've requested for you to unmute Kenny. Please state your name and then proceed with your case.
Yes, my name is Kenny LeMay. I am representing the owner, Brad and Renee Stout. We are the builder for the project. We are requesting a variance for a exterior building to house the implements and the machinery needed to maintain the 45-acre tract of land that the home is being built on.
Okay, what is your hardship?
The hardship being that it's not conducive to placing this building next to the new residence. Just for clarification, this was approved back in November, but we had a error in the I guess the way that it was submitted to the building department, so that when we actually went to go obtain our building department, the zoning didn't show zoning was approved, but this whole thing was approved back in November. So there was a 6-month window, but as we were going through our plan review, they did not. I guess the building department didn't see that zoning has already. You guys have already approved this.
Okay,
It was in November, I believe, at the November meeting.
Can we go back to the site plan by any chance? Just trying to get my reference point. So just so I'm clear, if someone wouldn't mind, can you put your hand? So I'm just trying to understand the distance from the existing house or the new house versus the garage. Hoping I'm seeing it's very small, so I'm having a hard time seeing it.
It's about. It didn't scan in correctly, but
Okay.
if that's 30, I would say about 80 feet. 80 to 100. I can't view it on this screen that well.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an understanding of the proximity to the property line.
Oh, the property line, close to 300.
Okay.
300 on one corner, 316 on the other.
Okay.
And staff, was gravel allowed in the last time? Because typically when we do these types of variances, it has to be some type of dust free. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah, we required dust-proof surface last time.
Okay.
And the difference of the plans is they had shown a like carport on one of the sides of the barn, and now it's going to be in the rear of the building.
Okay. One last thing, just to clarify, this was, you stated earlier, but just for clarification, this is for property, machinery for the property and not for commercial use.
Correct. And they have a tractor to mow the yard. I mean, it's a big piece of tract of land, so they have to mow it, and then they need the implements to sort of take care of the property. But no, they're not doing any commercial use there.
Okay.
I have no further questions.
No further questions as well.
okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition? None? Okay,
I don't think we have anybody at this time. I don't see any hands.
okay. Hearing none, 49-24. I vote to approve the variance as advertised with the stipulation for dust-free proofing on the gravel driveway.
Second then motion.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, none opposed. The motion carries.
All right, give me just 1 second here. It looks like Abiola lost connection possibly. So Dan, is there any way to make me a co-host, please? Let's see here, guys. Sorry. Hey, Dan, is there any way to make me a co-host?
Who's that?
This is Gretchen. I need to be made a co-host. Abiola lost connection, so I'm gonna need to take over the meeting.
Okay, Gretchen, your co-host.
Perfect, thank you. Give me just 1 second, guys. I'm gonna have to probably override Abiola somehow. Dan, can we remove Abiola as co-host, or I might be able to drag presenter onto me actually now? Never
Nope.
mind. All right,
I
cool.
took
I
her as
got it.
co-host.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, give me 1 second, folks, to get set up here. All righty. Let's see here. There we go. We're one ahead there. All right. Let me just pull up the participants list. Sorry, guys. All right, Kenny, thank you so much. Whenever your petition is done for any of our participants on here today, you can exit the call. You do not have to stay till the end, as instructions for your variance will be mailed to you. Moving on to 50-24, Faith Lutheran Church is a request for an exception to the sign regulations for the purpose of replacing a monument sign at 6101 Telegraph Road, maintaining a sign height of 12 feet in lieu of 8 feet and a sign size of 65 square feet in lieu of 50 square feet, as required by the R3 Residence District Regulations and Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. And Steve, I'm going to request for you to unmute. And again, just state your name for the record and then feel free to start with your petition.
Good afternoon. My name is Steve Behrens. I'm with Warren Sign Company. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time to consider this case. We've submitted plans for Faith in Oakville to build a new modern monument sign featuring a high resolution message center. It would replace the current sign, which is getting pretty old and currently stands at 10 foot. The Faith property has about 600 linear feet of frontage on Telegraph and another 600 feet facing Herb, the cross street. And the building itself is set back 100 yards from Telegraph Road. So the building doesn't have any identifying signs, which leaves the monument pretty much on its own to advertise the church's project. Adjoining Faith's front yard to the south is Southern Bank, who has about a third of that frontage and a fraction of their footprint. And they have a 25-foot overall height pylon with a large message center. And just to next to them is a mobile station that also has a 25-foot pylon with digital gas price changers. So we've submitted a drawing for a new monument sign that we feel is befitting a property this large and a building this far of a setback. And our design stays within the limits of what can be allowed with the board's permission in our district. So we respectfully request to build the sign to the height of 12 foot overall, which is still only half the height of signs on adjoining properties. And we also request to increase the allowed square footage to 65 feet instead of 50 to accommodate the architectural elements of the design. So thanks once again, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Do you know at that point on Telegraph how many lanes in each direction are there? You know,
It's 2 lanes each direction.
Am I seeing in this plan, it's very hard to see, I'm sorry, but is it 20 feet off of the right of way, or is there 20 feet from the sidewalk?
I think that shows 20 feet from the sidewalk. It's really like 31 feet off the right of way.
I don't have any other questions.
Either.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm gonna mute the petitioner's representative so the board can take a vote. This is 50-24.
Regarding 50-24, based on the scale of Telegraph Road at this location and the setback of the church to the road, I would recommend a motion to approve the requested variance as advertised.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The motion passes.
Alrighty. Is there anybody on this call that can raise their hand for us that is part of 51-24 Matthew and Elizabeth Monken? If not, we do not have anybody at this time. So if the board would like to move it to the end of their agenda for the day, that's fine, but we will need a motion in a second and a vote to do that.
You're on mute.
Am I on mute?
No, you're not.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Justin was, yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I moved to make a motion to move 51-24 to the end of the agenda.
Second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, the motion passes.
All right, so we will move 51-24 to the end of your agenda, and we can kind of continue to deal with that as we go. We are going to move on then to 52-24 City of St. Louis Lambert Airport Authority and the Boeing Company, which is a request for an exception to the front, side, and rear yard regulations for the purpose of constructing an 8-foot by 11-foot high, an 8 by 11-foot high fencing at 5230, 5240, and 5250 Banshee Road, maintaining a front yard of 0 feet in lieu of 30 feet, at a side yard of 0 feet in lieu of 10 feet, and a rear yard of 0 feet in lieu of 25 feet as required by the M1 Industrial District regulations and the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Sinan and Jeff, I'm going to request for both of you to unmute. You'll see something pop up here for you both. And then just please state both of your names and then proceed with your case.
Yeah, thank you. This is Jeff Farrow, project manager with Jacobs Engineering representing Boeing. Appreciate you all's time, BZA board. Appreciate that. Yes, as Ms. Arnold had explained, Boeing is requesting a variance for the fencing. I don't know, Gretchen, if you're actually going to show the slides or if I need to present.
We have some slides from you guys from what you submitted to Debbie.
Okay. Would you prefer to show them or would you like me to share?
We can show them on our end. It's just easier.
Okay. So presently, the existing conditions, when she gets the first slide up, you'll be able to see a visual of a photo of Banshee Road, and the existing fence is a 7-foot structure and is sitting right on the right of way currently. And that is the current request, just to replace that fence along Banshee Road. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Gretchen, yeah, I was gonna say Gretchen is there.
The slide isn't moving.
Yeah.
Is it not moving? Okay. Great. All right.
I could try to show if you'd
are we
like.
seeing
There
any
we go.
movement? Okay.
There we, yeah. Yep,
It's
if you
just
can flip
really-
back a few, thank you.
We're really struggling today with some Wi-Fi here, guys. Sorry.
No problem. If you could maybe keep trying to go back a little bit, that's just some insert slides, blow-ups of the site.
Let's see here.
But as she's flipping back, in essence, Boeing's asking for a fence variance of 0 feet all around the property. They've secured a lease with the airport / City of St. Louis for 50-acre parcel here.
And so the fence is just going right back into the existing location.
Correct. Yeah. Along Banshee Road, yes, and actually all the way around the property. It's being increased by a foot. Currently, it's 6+1 with the barbed wire. Boeing is requesting 7+1 along Banshee. Yeah, there you go. You can see all the blue is requested 7+1. Currently, it's 6+1, but a 7-foot structure. And then the red is within the airport operations area, the EOA. They require 10+1, 10-foot plus 1-foot barbed wire.
And I'm asking questions
Sure.
just to create a hardship here, but you've got this pretty much as far back as it could go correctly. I mean, based
Yeah,
on what I'm seeing on your site plan.
right, right.
Like
We
to
might be
meet
able,
to meet the setbacks, you'd have to be inside buildings and stuff like that.
that's correct. The very northern along Banshee Road, we could move it down a little bit, but we have tightened up our drive lane there, but we could move it down a little bit, a couple of feet. But outside of that, as you can see, I mean, you know, we've pretty much maximized out the 50 acres.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
I don't have any further questions, Angelia.
So basically, you need to construct these higher fences because the airport is requiring you to.
Yes, in the red, you're correct, Ms. Bills. In the red area, yes, and on the blue area for security purposes for Boeing.
Okay.
Both security, but the red is requested by the extra height is requested by the airport.
So can we go back to the site plan possibly? Is there, or if you can tell us, is there any, this is all fencing or is there any access points along this fencing?
And a great question. There are 2 access points off Banshee Road, and if you want to go back to the first slide, or
And my next question is, are they swinging into the right of way at all?
no, the gates both are swing gates, and they both swing to the interior.
Okay.
Yep.
I have no further questions.
Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm going to mute the petitioner's representative so the board can take a vote. And this is 52-24.
In the case of 52-24, I make a motion to approve the variance noting the hardship of security requirements mandated by the airport to construct a fence of 10+1 and then a 7+1.
I second it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. None opposed. The motion passes.
All right, moving on to 53-24, Joseph Nagel is a request for an exception to allow the construction of an 18-foot by 65-foot detached pavilion to be used for RV storage, which will be a secondary accessory structure on the property, and combined will be 1,794 square feet in size at 1514 Smizer Mill Road, as required by Section 4 of the R3 Residence District Regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Joseph, I'm going to request for you to unmute. Perfect.
Good afternoon, everybody. Joseph Nagel. One, I want to thank you, one, your time, and two, for walking me through on getting this in place and through all the paperwork. Yes, I'm requesting I originally sent in some information to the county for permit to build a shed. I understood that was not going to be approved, so I'm asking for the variance on the 2-acre lot itself. When the plot plan comes up, the 2-acre lot itself, we have the main structure of the house, and then there's a detached garage that's adjoined by a concrete driveway. On the other side of the lot is where I'm requesting to build the 18-foot by 65-foot pavilion to be able to slide the pavilion up in there to get it out of one, out of the elements, but two, to keep the lot up to a standard, I would guess, for Fenton and the residing areas, that still looks presentable to the area and not just parking an RV on top of a grass structure and leaving it on the yard. I don't see the slides moving, but if there's any questions on the pavilion or how it'll be built, or we're looking at a concrete slab to attach the pavilion to, and then I'll be running an asphalt driveway from the pavilion to the road, which will be attached right to 1514 or right to Smizer Mill Road.
I'm not seeing any slides as well, but question you mentioned, is there a existing concrete slab that you're looking to build on?
No, there is not. I will be adding the concrete slab.
Okay.
And did you say this was a 2-acre piece of ground?
It is. Yes, sir.
I'm seeing the photos now. Is there a,
Sorry, I think it was acting up because I wasn't on Wi-Fi here earlier, and so that might be what was happening. Sorry about that.
So as you look at the plot plan there, as it stands today, the house structure is there in the center of the plot plan. The detached garage is furthest all the way to the right as you look at the screen, and then you can see the new shed or pavilion over towards the left-hand side.
Staff, what's the maximum allowed square footage for accessory structures in this district?
Mr. Randall, from
It
what
would-
I've been, sorry.
It would be the half the square footage of the home, or anything over 1,000 square feet, they would need the variance.
Okay.
So
And then this
combined, they
combined,
need,
they were at like,
yeah,
okay.
combined, they're at like
Right.
1,700.
Okay.
And there's 2 structures, the detached garage and then this pavilion. And
Got it.
I didn't understand the hardship on the location. Is there a reason why the request wouldn't be to extend or add an addition onto the existing detached garage? Or is there
Yeah, Mr. Nutt, in that aspect, adding additional distance to the detached garage as it stands today, going towards the rear or towards the south would run me into my setback on my property line on the east side of the lot, and running to the north would then cut into the water runoff that goes around the east side of the lot as well. So the hardship is I don't have room anywhere else other than on the far west side of the property line to do that.
Thank you for that.
I think there must have been a drive-by on the house where there's the pictures there. As you look at that photo, I've got the little gravel pad there now that sets it up against the road. That would then be extended. The tree line that you see there on the right-hand side is currently 10 feet off of my property line to the right or to the west. I would be going an additional 10 feet further into the lot to get at a 20-foot setback off of the property line itself.
Okay, and so he's good for lot coverage then? Debbie?
yes, he is.
And as well as with the half of the footprint of the home?
Well, that's, I believe he needs that also because he's building over the half the footprint of the house. So that's the
It's the total of the-
combination of the both.
Yeah, the total of the 2 is what's driving it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, are there any other questions?
I don't have any more.
I don't either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sure. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time I'm going to mute the petitioner so the board can take a vote. This is 53-24.
Okay, in the matter of 53-24, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, the hardship being this is the best location for this, as well as I believe that it'll improve the look of the lot.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
All right, 54-24 has been struck from the agenda. So we will move on to 55-24 McBride Barrett Land Company LLC, requesting an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a retaining wall and fence along lots 8 through 12 at 937 Forder Road, maintaining both side yards of each lot of 0 feet in lieu of 6 feet as required by the R4 Residence District regulations and the Density Development Procedure of St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Mike, I'm going to request for you to unmute. Please just state your name for the record and then present your case.
St. Louis County. We are here requesting this variance for McBride Barrett Land Company LLC. We're developing a subdivision known as Great Oaks, and there's 15 lots, 16 lots, 15 lots. Or 16, I'm sorry. It is 16. But part of the development is building a common retaining wall across the rear of lots 8, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, and 11, 12. And when you make a common wall like that, you have to cross the side yards. So that's the only variance we're requesting is the side yard variance from 6 foot down to 0 feet on those common lot lines between 8 through 12. And all the other setbacks are per St. Louis County ordinance.
Could you please state for us the hardship? Is it required
Well,
retaining wall?
Yes, the retaining wall and the grading on the lots, there's a large slope at the rear of 8 through 12 that encroaches into the buildable area of the lots. Without the wall, they basically are not lots that could be easily built upon, and also the drainage pattern. But the biggest thing is once you exceed 4 foot in the county and you need a fence along the top of the wall, it becomes a structure. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the wall would not be a structure of 4 foot or less. But 4 foot doesn't give us enough yard for the homes that will be built on these lots.
Thank you.
Question for you. With these going over lot lines, is there some sort of maintenance agreement that's done so that when the wall does need repaired, that there's some sort of common joint maintenance agreement?
Mm-hmm.
The wall is will be placed in a retaining wall maintenance and access easement, and then the maintenance of that wall will be covered in the indentures, and the easements will be dedicated on the record plat.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and St. Louis County will look over all that as we go.
Good deal.
No
I don't
questions.
have any further questions.
Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see anybody at this time, so I'm going to mute the petitioner's representative so the board can take a vote. This is 55-24.
Matter of
No matter.
dash
Go ahead.
4. I make a motion to approve the variance pending any further notice by the St. Louis County for the easement, stating that the hardship is a continuous lot that has a watershed onto existing additional adjacent lots.
Okay.
Seconded. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
Alrighty. I still do not see anybody for 51-24. So I will leave that up to the board as to what you guys would like to do. Would you like us to go through it, or would you like for us to continue it into your next meeting?
I think we can continue it.
Okay. We'll need a motion for that and a vote.
Okay, and what number was that again?
It is 51-24.
Okay. In the matter of 51-24, I vote to continue it to the next meeting.
I'll
Seconded.
second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it carries. And I also motion that we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the
Just-
meeting's adjourned. See you
Alright.
all in 2 weeks.
Thank you guys for bearing
Bye,
with us
guys.
today.
Sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No
Take
problem.
care, guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.